Skyfall, we are here, gentlemen.
We are here. The sky fell.
The sky has fallen. Jason has not looked at a score yet.
No.
And
I know. Statistically, I've been pretty dynamite on grabbing these. And sometimes I do cheat because I've been able to look at his screen ahead of time. But.
This is, But I stared at you the whole time I opened my laptop. And
sure.
I even typed them in on my notes page and not pull up the Rotten Tomatoes website to ensure that we can play this game. So, we will start as we always do with the critical reception. Mike, what do you think the critics said about Skyfall?
Was definitely higher than Quantum.
Thanks.
Thanks, idiot. 84.
Okay.
82.
Wow.
Price is right.
This is the furthest you've been off, honestly. I don't think you've ever been off by 10.
It's in the 90s?
It's 92 on the tomato
Are you
meter.
shitting? Wow.
Dude, they
Go
loved
critics. What were they thinking?
They fucking loved it.
Now, audience score. Jason, I started with you.
Let's see. Man, I don't know. 88.
98.
86.
What?
All right.
Wow.
Yes. All right. So 3 negative reviews from the old Rotten Tomatoes. The latest in 007's adventures is... we'll start with negative, obviously. Or I said negative, didn't I? Oh, well. It's fine. We're
negative.
past it. The latest in 007's adventures is so far removed from the super spy's typical assignments that it often feels like only a hollow shell of the iconic hero. Yeah.
Okay.
The character of Bond always works best when a blank canvas of nihilist tendencies and ultra-professionalism. Wow, that's a weird sentence. Anyway, so the Batman-style stab at populist pathos didn't wash with me. Okay, I'm going to read that again. The character of Bond always works best when a blank canvas of nihilist tendencies and ultra-professionalism.
So no personality, world bad.
So, but it's weird. Okay, that's just a weird way to state those things. Anyway.
We get it.
So the Batman-style stab at populist pathos didn't wash with me. Cool. They own a thesaurus. All right, it's a
sophomore.
It's a Bond family melodrama. If you're up for that, yet another misguided director saved by genre film. Huzzah! They wrote huzzah.
Wow.
Now the positive. Roger Deakins makes every inch of the screen drip cinematic beauty with orgasmic wide shots and mind-blowing lighting.
It sure was dripping. I remember the size of my monitor leaking, but that may have just been...
making this the best-looking Bond flick ever. Phenomenal acting all around.
Ever.
That's what this guy says.
Bold.
Not me.
Bold move, Cotton.
I'm just reading his words.
Capital heartbeat.
It's a terrific Bond by any measure. Smart and sinewy. Filled with memorable action and inventive set pieces, and a significant improvement over the previous film.
Did have some cool set pieces.
You do have Modelo foil on your lip.
No, leave it. It's character building.
Skyfall may not be an existential masterpiece, but it is a near-perfect action thriller that features an excellent cast highlighted by a performance that should rank Raul Silva as one of the best Bond villains of all time. Wow, how do we feel about that?
Okay.
You feel okay about it?
I mean, where are we starting? You want to start with the villain?
Well, the next section is we open with what was good, what wasn't good,
Okay.
what
Likes,
we're into,
dislikes,
what we're
indeed.
into. So.
Yeah.
I will agree with set locations, the colors and the shots. So like the train scene, mountainscape, cool. Tokyo scene, all the lights, cool. The Macau stuff, beautiful. Leaving Macau, going to that island, the destroyed island, gorgeous. The sailboat and everything, awesome. I've never been to Scotland, so I thought the Scotland thing was cool and beautiful. So like set piece, locations,
dynamite.
Awesome.
I gotta tell you that one shot where they parked the car, Bond was out, and Em got
just
out of the
like,
car.
okay.
When they were like that whole scene right there, I think was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like that was such an incredible shot. I think that was in Scotland, right? Because that would have been right before they got into the Skyfall Lodge.
And I didn't realize, like, I don't know how it didn't dawn on me that, like, that was the entrance to the whole, like, property. So the property he grew up on was, like, fucking massive.
Yeah,
They were so rich, they had their own church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
All right. So besides scenes, colors, shots, all that, what else?
Yeah.
Positives.
Positive. So I personally enjoyed Silva quite a bit as a villain perspective because he hit such of like the weird point of villains that you just don't really get to see be portrayed. So like he hit this weird kind of like obviously like I'm kind of weirdly horny and like, you know, trying to seduce Bond like in that first interaction. And I loved that so much.
Silva, straight or gay?
Doesn't matter.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
It doesn't matter. But like I really loved that approach, and it was so interesting to me because it was almost like this interest wasn't necessarily in like, I don't know, it seemed like it was less about like Bond and then as opposed to it like all being part of the plan. It's like he's just like this,
It's all a part of the
he's got
plan.
this chess piece in front of him. He's just like, I've been waiting for you to get to, you know, Rook 5, you know, for 15 years type of thing. And it was almost like
James.
like a sexual reaction to his plan coming together
Very much.
rather than anything to do with Bond. And I love Bond not being the most important person in a room.
Yeah.
Like anytime we can get away with that, I really do love that quite a bit. So Silva overall, I liked a lot of the way he was able to like approach scenes and just be his own character, which is kind of neat. But overall, like I felt like the reveal of like, you know, being betrayed by M, or like it's like feeling like he's been betrayed by M and like trying to do the kill yourself with a cyanide pill. I thought it just like didn't really carry enough weight to really matter, I guess. You know, he's like, yeah, like she made the logical choice of trading me for 6 other dudes, and then when I tried to die I couldn't. Guess I'll fuck the world.
So
Like it's such a like loss of sense of duty for not the best reason, because obviously he wouldn't have been in it for the right reason if that's how he felt from that decision.
Sure.
it was weird that like that was a step back for me because I felt like he had done so many other things. Like he had like toppled markets in other countries. He had like thrown regimes. He had done all these hacker things. And it was like he had already lived so much life that he was like, you know what, I am mad about her. I do want to go kill her. And it was like so many things had to take place that were like out of the realm of possibility. Like he had to rely on luck so fucking much for like Bond to show up and kill the guy in Tokyo, to then come with his then girlfriend to that place, to then have him get caught and like, oh, he planned it all along. This is years in the making. It's just like, was it? Like he like stumbled in.
And so that's one of the things I kind of struggle with, right? Like with it all being part of the plan, like there's no way it could have been. And then obviously once we get past the point of like, oh, I'm in the tunnels, I'm going to go get M. Mm-hmm. Like it all falls apart. Like he fucking butchers the rest of that execution. So like if anything else ahead of time was truly part of his plan, he nailed all of that. Mm-hmm. But then once we got to the point of like, oh, I'm going to like shoot M in front of everybody because it's televised and because it's in front of all these public figures, whatever.
Well, even before he got there, he got caught by James and he was like, blew up that hole. And he was just like why would he have thought of that? Like, oh, what if I get caught in this one specific ladder by anybody? I'm going to plant explosives over there and blow that up. And it was like, well, you missed. And he goes, like, no, that's for you. And the whole fucking like, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was really fucking cool, but like the odds of like all of those things in the plan happening were like so slim. So it was very hard to believe.
Yeah, but I mean, in his mind, he's thinking, he's like James, right? Where
Yeah.
he's like, I'm kind of the best at this.
Yeah.
So like, what if
You know?
he had,
There's, like, an
charges
assumed-
planted like in 80 different locations for that, and he's just like, oh yeah, no, this is 1, 2, 3, 50, 57? Yeah, 57.
Yeah. No, definitely a lot of luck, though. I agree. As far as my likes, dislikes, I felt like this was a good version of some of the over-action-packed bad Bond movies. This was a good version of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to see Bond sort of meet his match in this movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Him being just like a weathered person in general throughout this was
He was
very
like
refreshing.
a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Love to see a struggling Bond.
This felt like an actual challenge for him, you know, less disposable henchman. The comeback story for Bond is kind of cool because like he's
I did
always
like that.
always a bit of a front runner anywhere we meet him.
Right.
But yeah, just the Silva's I think a pretty good villain. I don't know if I say he's the best Bond villain ever, like that guy in that review, but dislikes too long. But what else is new?
Did that hit the 2.5 hour mark? It was
yeah,
pretty
I
darn
think
close. Between
this
inspector, I know they're both long as shit.
I think we're approaching 3 on both, if I'm not mistaken. But
Damn.
but the villain trope of not killing the hero is exhausting in both this and Spectre, where it's just like, God damn, like I feel like Scott Evil, just like, would you just shoot him?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I liked a little bit about this one, right? Because like Bond, irrelevant to this whole story as far as Silva's concerned. He just wants to get to M. So like as far as like the Silva and M, the goal there, like he got damn near to the very end of it.
Yeah.
Somebody else fucked it up for him.
Yeah.
So
if he would have just shot James.
Yeah.
So he fucked it up for him, if you ask me.
Yeah. But Silva was still waiting on M to pull the trigger. He had his hand on the gun, but it was relying on M to do it. So
that was a weird part where he was like put it to M's temple and like put his head to her head and was like, just do it.
Free us both.
Yeah.
With one bullet.
And she just like, nope. I did. So the passing of M and that whole thing to Mallory, I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was done well. I'm sure Judi Dench was like, "Hey guys, like I'm getting older. I've had a bit of enough."
Yeah.
The internet tells me she cried when she learned that her character was going to die
Really?
in this one. So
All right.
I think she might not have been quite ready to be killed off.
Apparently
she did
not.
really well. I thought she was great in Bonds. I thought she was a good M.
Yeah.
I thought the action scenes were good. I know you're not a big fan of like car chases and whatnot.
My first note is I'm laughing because I know Jason is somewhere very angry at this opening scene.
I was almost excited, right? Because I'm like, okay, this wrapped up pretty quickly, and then we got like on a motorcycle, and I was like, and
And I'm spent.
you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
So we almost had this wrapped up in like the first 3 minutes or something of the movie. I couldn't have been happier. And then they got on the motorcycles, and
Yeah.
what can you do?
Man, fuck.
Sometimes you lose.
Song? Good song?
Easy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We've got a
We gotta
structure.
go through the bad.
Oh,
we gotta go through the
okay,
bad
yeah.
section.
All right. Bad stuff.
Bad trailer. I can start. Emma's looking for someone new to fuck because her husband is dead. So we use the scene where she's talking in court. She says her late husband was a great lover of poetry, but we cut off of poetry. So she just says, my late husband was a great lover. And then there's just shots of her, in close proximity to the other men in the movie talking, as if she's courting them.
Courting lovers.
And we have, the scene where she meets Kincaid and, he seems kind of... Kincaid kind of wanted to fuck him, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say it, but he definitely looked it.
The thought was there.
He was
a little smitten. No, I get... No, I'm not blaming him. I'm not going, why the fuck would you... No, it's just...
But like when he's talking about the house, he's like, "Oh, she's an old lady, but like she
Emma.
there was some
I
undertones
was
there.
certain that they were going to be banging downstairs within minutes, but
There was some undertones there, for sure. But yeah, just a lot of variations of the shot of her and Silva, but like leaving the gun out of frame when their like heads are pressed together, and then or if you wanted to go a different direction where like it's some sort of BDSM thing and there's a gun involved. But yeah,
we've all been there.
and just a lot of shots of like Bond holding her before she dies, but we don't have to include that she's dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my bad trailer.
That's good. I also went the horny route, so a trailer setting up like Bond and M to be on like their honeymoon type of thing. I thought was really good. So it's like they were like that bickering couple, but they're still trying to have like a romantic type of thing. So you get like a little bit of those sentimental scenes mixed in with them like bitching and arguing with each other and throwing sass.
I like it.
And realistically, I think I just watched a whole movie of something like that.
Daniel Craig and Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love of Judi Dench.
Yeah. So go
I know your son ripped your notes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Only thing I can really think of that I kind of had something along the lines of this was like Bond finally gets a vacation and doesn't have to do anything. And like you see him just like take the shot, and then it's just like you don't show him getting shot, but just like jumping in the river, and then you see him just like partying down that island, just like drinking every night, like hanging out with girls and not like obviously not there,
right?
Type of thing. You're just like, oh, Bond gets a vacation. This movie, neat.
Yeah,
Solid.
For my bad summary, I have former employee develops a mommy fetish with boss.
Classic. I had a failed suicide attempt ends in failed suicide attempt.
That's good.
That's actually a good summary. You did this wrong.
I keep doing these wrong, but they keep making me laugh.
It's true. This is
true. I had something along the lines of pissed off hacker gets sidetracked.
Fair. That's good.
It's fair. He could have accomplished like just so much if he wasn't worried about M.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, especially for
he
the
was
fact
like,
that he was...
Okay, but actually, like, if he wasn't, like, so fixated on, like, a personal kill, I mean, he just has a gas leak when she's in the office that day and kills her that way. And then he's just like, yep, okay, yep. And
but it's about making a statement.
and she's dead. She's dead. Okay.
Neat.
That was fun.
Jerk off?
Yeah, and it's like, yeah.
Get
You
some
jerk
Burger
off to
King
that
later.
on the news, and you're just like, oh, yeah, I did that. And then
He didn't have to wait till the news. He probably could have just hacked into the
to the
security
news,
Yeah.
put it on the news. Yeah.
and just done it there.
Look, she's there, then she's not.
Oh, she fell over and probably dead. Yep, we're good.
Okay, my bad casting. I always do the movies from the same year. So, Killing Them Softly was in 2012. James Gandolfini's in that movie. And I'm on this kick where I want them to be the same character from the movie as well.
Mm.
So he's essentially a Tony Soprano with a larger alcohol problem in that movie, and he fucks even more hookers. And so that's what I want Silva to be.
Sure.
So he's just constantly drinking and having hookers in his hotel. So he really doesn't get anything done, and so it's that's fun for me. And then VHS was in 2012.
Nice.
So I want Q.
Go
to,
watch VHS.
Yeah. So I want Q to be the guy dressed as the nanny cam. So he's just in this bear outfit, and like it drives home the thing with Bond even more that he like hates the new generation and the young guys and all that.
What is that, a furry?
Yeah. And then M should be Tyler Perry playing Medea, which I'm pretty sure one of you have done at some point for somebody. I don't remember.
That's great.
But then Bond should be played by Matthew McConaughey. Oh, I didn't write down what movie he was in. Well, I mean, it's Matthew McConaughey. He's in a movie every year.
You've seen
whether
the
it's
Matthew
good or not.
McConaughey
Yeah.
movie.
Chick flick?
Figure, dude.
But he should put no effort into the English accent, so we just get a Southern Bond for some reason.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Solid. So for Silva, I had Fred. Is it Armisen?
Yeah.
Armisen.
Oh, that's good.
For some reason, like I got similar vibes between the two characters, and I just thought like if we went a little bit more in the cringe direction, that it would just make Silva that much more interesting.
Yeah.
And then I wanted Adam Sandler to be Bond. Just as a like couldn't have taken a single fucking part of this seriously, but still playing like the man, I'm getting old as shit.
Yeah,
trope
just
for
the
it, right?
exasperated Sandler.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that?
Just sweaty.
And then I really wanted to swap in Samuel L. Jackson as M throughout this, but not like change the fact that
She's
all
an
the
old
same
lady.
lines Samuel L. Jackson is portraying an old lady
Yeah.
type of thing.
That's old white hair.
Yeah.
White hair.
I very much wanted him just to be cosplaying Dame Judi Dench and doing the whole thing.
I like it.
Does Raul look like a bitch?
Yeah.
Why
Why are you trying to fuck him like one?
I can't remember.
That's
Skip.
fun. I get it.
Pass. Pause.
Yeah. So like I said, my first note was all I could think at the start of this movie is that Jason is so thrilled, starting with another big ass chase.
It's fine because like it honestly didn't bother me quite this much this time around. It's probably because you slightly headed me off on it that I knew it was gonna come. But again, my excitement level of like I thought this was wrapped up within the first 3 or 4 minutes. I was like, damn, nice. And I thought like maybe that was the thing, was that you were prepping me up to be like, oh, nice short chase scene up in the front, and then we get to the good stuff. And then it just kept on going. I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
But sometimes you lose.
Yeah. Sometimes. Most of the time when you're watching Bond.
You'd think I would know what to expect at this point, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
So my first actual talking point was just like the M decision to just have her take the shot. Like, pretty bad, I feel like. I mean, you just have her take a shot, two guys fighting on a train, and the thing that gets me the most is they're all wearing earpieces, they're all communicating the whole
same
fucking
channel.
time. Hey, Bond, I'm
Get
gonna
down.
shoot at him. Like, run away from him or something, you know?
Yeah.
Not that crazy of a... It just seems so avoidable, you know? And then she just take the shot.
Well, it was also without even beside that, like he's actively fighting on the train, and like there's more track. Like he can continue fighting. Like it's not like a life or death. Like he can still do what he needs to do. It was like no, right now. This is as far as she can drive. Let's do this now.
Remember, they were trying to set up so much urgency around the fact that he had the hard drive and that all these other agents were going to be exposed. So, like, the risk wasn't worth it only being up to Bond, even though we leave the fate of the world up to Bond every other weekend.
Thank you.
But in this particular instance, that's what they were trying to set up, was
Not
that
this time.
whatever this thing that we don't have enough information about is the most important thing and worth killing a James Bond over.
But the computer wasn't on the train. You know? Like, we could track this guy down. We could figure it out.
Yeah. And they do. They're like, it's doing shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
We lost like 5 agents, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, so even when they did that, why did they not call all of their agents out of the field and just like, fuck it, scrub it?
Well, so once they
Get
were
out.
aware, they tried to pull him in, but there's, most of these guys are
But
either in
it's-
cover type of thing. Like they are impersonating an identity doing their mission. So
Sure.
if that suddenly comes in when it's like, hey, Dave's a fucking narc, you're going to behead him and post it on YouTube.
Right. It was such a non-proactive way to go about it. So like, well, they released these 5 names. Get those guys out. It was like, we should have been working on this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. So anyway, just
And another 2 weeks.
and as it turns out, M's been pissing agents off for years now.
Yeah.
So
Knows what to do. I help me fill in a little bit of the gap with Kincaid, because I feel like I'm losing like a small piece. So like they get to Skyfall Lodge, Kincaid is there, he's chilling, like, he knows, they had a gun room, so it's like there's some level of preparation of like, danger, defending yourself, whatever. And then he asks Bond, he's like, what do you do for a living again? And, like, I get that they haven't seen each other for a long time, but it seemed like this weird disconnect of Kincaid being like, yeah, I'm kind of a trained killer a little bit also, too. And then also, like, what the fuck are you doing? How do you know how to shoot a gun? That's weird. And then also, I got, like, 3 kills, I think, in this movie. Like, I had a weird trying to figure out, I guess, like, what Kincaid really was in his capacity of like kind of raising Bond. And
the only thing they said was he was gameskeeper.
but what does that mean? That just means they
it's
hunt,
Haggard,
right?
Right? Isn't that Haggard? Or is he groundskeeper?
He's a
No,
groundskeeper.
He was gameskeeper. I think it has
One
to
of those
do
G
with
words
like,
followed by keeper.
yeah, I think it has to do with more like the outdoors, like making sure the wolves stay away, making sure like their property is safe, making sure like more or less that, instead of like, that's our gardener or anything else.
See, and I guess groundskeeper puts in that category. Gamekeeper, I can think a little bit more like kind of like that hunting, trapping, like managing the wildlife. Capacity.
Well, and if your name is Kincaid, like, I mean, there's just it's your birthright to not have the title gardener.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, no,
legally we cannot do this.
Kincaid, gardener. Kincaid, florist. No, that's not going to work.
Not it.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm as in the dark as you're. I mean,
It just
My guess is he
seems so
just-
weird, and I felt like I had missed part of this was to go a little bit into Bond's past, right?
yeah.
So it's like Kincaid felt like he might have been like a potential key piece to that past, and then because of me not having any context, I'm like, what have I missed?
Well, and
what
then-
am I not understanding about
Here's-
why Kincaid matters?
Here's the bizarre thing with that to me, the whole, like, he's been here the whole time, is His parents died when he was. They said what? 8?
8, yeah.
Okay, Bond's what?
40.
40?
So
He's 40.
Let's call him 40.
No, so one of the fun facts I remember is because this was about Bond being old. Somewhere in the Ian Fleming books, it was written that they retire agents at 45, and at the time of filming this, Daniel Craig was 44.
Okay.
So,
Right. Okay. So I guess anyway.
36 years.
So let's say that it's 36 years later, and they just thought Bond was dead 3 months ago, and so then he's starting to close up shop. What the fuck has he been doing this whole time?
He's been keeping that game,
Tend to the
son.
game, baby. Tend to the game, son.
Slave to the game.
But who is paying this man?
It's from the estate.
He lives off
He's
the
just-
land, bro.
Dude, they have like 1 billion acres in Scotland. I guarantee
I get
Bond's
it.
family, even though
I'm just saying.
he's a 00 agent with credit cards that probably run up billions of
Sure.
dollars of debt, he's probably worth like 300 million just on his own. And he's like,
Don't
but I
you
really
think-
like killing people.
Don't you think at a certain point, Bond would be like, I should call Kincaid and
check in.
let him get on with his life instead of just
Hey.
maintaining the game.
Buddy, I
Nope.
I know you've been in mourning of my parents dying 30
What,
years
you
ago.
imagine?
30 some years?
Can you imagine?
I've moved on, but I still see you signing into the Wi-Fi every now and then. So, get a life. I might just bulldoze the place just so you find something else to do.
I mean, he doesn't sell the
I'll
estate.
call you around
and-
Christmas.
I mean, what he's so detached from this land, right? He hasn't. This is the first time he's been back. It's like, why is he even? I guess it's that man that can't deal with his emotions, and so he's like, no, don't sell it.
yeah,
Like, why not?
He's the
Like-
guy who would retire to a lighthouse type of thing.
Yeah. They're like, no, don't sell all my properties though. Why? Well, I might visit him. I don't know. I'm not going to.
I'm not ready.
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
that-
not ready. You're on your deathbed. Are you ready? No.
That was kind of the other thing. He was just like, when he got there and they were like, the gun room. And he was like, I don't know, someone from Iowa bought it. Couldn't sell your father's hunting rifle, though.
Because
He's
I was
like-
involved in that decision.
Yeah.
I own your property.
Well, it was also like, he was like 8 when this happened. He doesn't fucking remember his dad's favorite hunting rifle or anything.
Do
He's
you
just
remember Pappy's rifle?
Like, yeah.
He remembers the little cave, the little escape
He
room.
hid
though.
there for days.
Yeah.
When he came out, he wasn't
Do you
a
remember his, 1949 Playboy article?
Emma, would you like to hide in the room with me?
Emma?
Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Yeah, just the utmost disrespect I felt that he was calling her Emma and not
Yeah.
M. But. And yeah, you know what? Why was he calling her Emma? How does he know her? Why do they have this relationship?
That was just what he
Was
heard.
M already fucking this dude and they had to play it off like they were strangers? Like M regularly goes back and backdoors Kincaid in
she's
the
like-
Skyfall Lodge.
She's like 007. You don't have to call me mom. Right away.
Right away. Give it 2 weeks.
Fuck.
Oh, my God.
That's why he's so mad at Em. He's got mommy issues with her.
Hey, we've all been there.
Quit fucking my gameskeeper.
Jesus Christ.
So, just again, we've drawn out Kincaid quite a bit. Final thought, okay?
I
So
love it.
I read through another post, and for a brief period of time, Sean Connery was considered as for playing Kincaid. Okay, but they were like, we thought about it, but then we thought it would just take people out of it too much
Yeah.
because Sean was a Bond.
But he doesn't
But-
even look like Bond anymore. You've seen. Look at
Doesn't
Sean
matter.
Connery in Untouchables. He looks like a completely
matter.
different fat old man.
I cannot tell you
matter.
how much I would have lost.
Oh
I
my
would have
God.
called you in the middle of the night, Tyler.
you-
Shut up!
Fucking Sean!
You're not telling. You told me about the chase. You're telling me about Sean.
Could you imagine just the funnel off of like, so are old 00s funneling orphans into the new 00 program? And
Yes. I have no evidence to
And
back
you
this
can
up,
bet.
but I am certain.
You can bet your life, Sean Connery would have fucked him.
Oh, 100%.
Just
Doesn't
like
matter
he-
what
doesn't
timeline.
Doesn't matter what was in the script.
Yeah.
Sean Connery was gonna bang Judi Dench in real life.
Yeah, he would have given a good smack.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her, too. Get
her.
out there.
Give it a little schmuck.
Good job, Judy.
Oh man. So if you're Bond, do you come back or do you just stay? You just stay living on that island, fucking random chicks, drinking every night.
I mean, I think the point of a 00 agent is that they've been able to abandon so much of their sense of self and that it becomes duty and that they're a tool. So, like, conceptually, you go back to work, right? Sure, you drink for a while. Bond's go through some shit. He needs
He
a couple
drinks on the job
They
non-stop.
tried to kill me.
You know what I mean? So, like, sure, you drag it out a little bit, but you show up for work Monday, right?
Or, in a Monday 3 months from now.
Yeah, whenever he gets back. I was a little unclear on the time gap there.
I said 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, so that's all fine and dandy. But realistically, if it was me, I think I'd abandon ship, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you have an estate that big and you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you probably just...
Well, there is...
So, okay, this brings up a point. How is he living on the island? Everyone thinks he's dead. Naturally, all of those accounts are going to be frozen.
Right? Yeah.
Right. They're selling all his things. They sell his shit. They get rid
What
of his,
island was
his
he on?
flat.
He was in
I don't
Turkey.
know. I mean, yeah, because that first scene's in Istanbul.
But we don't know. I mean, he could easily just like...
So he floated downstream to, I don't know.
I can't imagine man's got far.
The only thing I can think of is he went somewhere where, like, the English pound reigns supreme, and it's like...
Well, so my
can
head
do
is
whatever the fuck he
thinking
wants.
But
towards...
how is he getting in the account?
Oh.
So my head was thinking of, you remember Indiana Jones where Homegirl was doing the drinking games and like collecting a bunch of dough that way? Like, obviously...
He's doing the scorpion thing every night.
Like Bond knows how to do it. So to me, that's like a bet, right? So it's like money down. Does he do it? Does he can't do it or whatever? So he drinks all day because he does these wild games or whatever, and then people bet against him, and then he collects on it. Like,
Well,
to me, that was how he would have sustained himself, at least.
Fair enough.
That makes
I mean,
sense.
that makes sense.
I like that.
What pills do you think he was taking before he went out?
I thought that was really interesting that they mentioned he was
did it,
doing
like,
pills as
took
well
him
as
down, so he just like, all right, whatever, fuck it. Like,
I bet he's just doing painkillers. I mean, he got shot with a sniper rifle.
Could have been.
And a whatever that guy had.
Yeah.
Some automatic pistol or
And also,
whatever.
speaking of that,
Thallium or no, maybe it wasn't.
No,
Thallium. I'm thinking too far
That's
ahead.
Spectre, yeah. He's
a
a
uranium core or something.
Yeah.
But
Uranium
how
core.
fucking baller was it to him just like dead eye the mirror and just like...
Did you expect anything else?
Kinda? I mean, like...
All I know is even for 3 months, that was a pretty well-healed bullet wound. So
Okay, yeah, that's
he
what.
just tosses it to Tanner like, get these checked out for her eyes only.
Yeah.
You get it.
Bond, my other
You fucking
comment
get it.
on him at that island. Bond is like a cat, but instead of always landing on his feet, he always lands in a woman.
yeah. Can I ask one more question? So when Moneypenny misses and shoots him, where?
This is very fair.
He's only got the one bullet hole.
I know.
I'll do you one better.
I'm gonna guess because I mean it was a big wound, right? Like
Well,
I'm gonna guess
there
it was like
one
here
up
and here.
and
Yeah,
one here.
it's kind of like this.
She
this
was
little
such a good shot. She shot him directly where he was already shot.
on accident.
Fuck out of here.
So the one thing I did see was like, I think I told you, I was like, oh, physics don't apply in Bond movies. So he gets shot and he falls straight down into the water instead of the train traveling and him like should have gone at an angle and hit the bank.
Yeah.
It was like,
This is
where's the bullet wound? Why is he falling straight down?
Bond physics, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just relax.
Ramp that car.
There are certain things you just have. I mean, like I know we're sitting here being cunts about, things that you were just supposed to look past because it's a fucking movie. But like, we're this far into this franchise. We're gonna worry about physics and.
When you watch these movies, just like a fucking idiot, they're awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you nitpick like us, you're like,
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. We did them decision. Bond lands in women instead of on his feet.
We didn't say anything about the fucking helicopter scene. How badass that was.
In Skyfall?
Yeah.
Or in Spectre?
Skyfall. Where
Which helicopter scene are we talking about?
the very end where Silva brings the helicopter and it's blaring
no.
music, and
Right.
he literally fucks.
Yeah, that was
everything
very
up.
literal Vietnam
Yeah.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Because Bond's like, oh, we got them all, we killed him. All right, cool. And then he hears the chopper. He's like,
Always got to make an entrance.
yeah. And Silva's just tossing incendiary grenades.
Yeah.
And Bond being Bond, just fucking blowing things up and everything. Dude, it was awesome. And
It's-
it was a lot of action, and it was a lot of like, no fucking way, but like, it was fucking cool.
What I loved is that as soon as possible, Bond threw away his dad's cherished rifle and picked up literally anybody else's gun.
Yeah,
To me,
fuck
that was
automatic weapon. Let's do this.
That was so special, and the fact that there was 0% like thought even into like recovering that gun or anything.
Yeah. No, this can go in the fire. This
Yeah,
is fine.
I give not shit.
I'm planning on blowing this house up.
Fuck
and
Daddy-o.
That, as far as I'm concerned, that's firewood.
Yeah. I have so much insurance out on this plane. Kincaid is gonna
I don't give a
retire
shit.
easily.
Oh yeah. Kincaid's still like living in that chapel. He's just mooching off the Bond estate.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not gonna get a
So-
job now.
What if he does like? Because they don't ever come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, Kincaid, just take it. I don't need this.
He probably killed himself, right? Like he's like, I have nothing to live for. He crawled back. He crawled back into the house. He uncovered the charred remains of that shotgun. He blew his brains out.
Uh-huh.
Emma.
Oh shit. So again, still sitting on where they're at the Skyfall Lodge at the end of it. There again with Silva's hacking capabilities and really just his technical prowess that he's been able to show throughout this movie so far. Like in my head, I'm just like drone strike, drone strike, drone strike. Like because we've harped so much on the fact that like MI6 is antiquated, M is old, Bond is old. To me, that's such like a modern warfare aspect to then like introduce to the way he's combating Bond and M. That would have just been so fitting. But then he's just like, I'm gonna throw some grenades in.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of is that it's so personal, like you said. Like he wants to stab her in the heart type thing. Like he wants to see it in her eyes. He wants to do it, and so that's the whole point. Is like, yeah, he could have done that, or he could have done the gas leak, or he could have just blown it up when she was in there. But like, he wants to be there. He wants to pull the trigger. He wants to be the one.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah.
I get it, but like, yeah, like, because that room on that island where it's just all servers, you're just like, dude, you could literally do anything.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
And again, the note I wrote down for it is his ambition for revenge wasn't close to touching his capacity for revenge. Like he could have done so much more than what like he was, willing and actively doing.
Just like one
And it
night,
was a shame.
drunkenly, just like, fuck it. Just like kill her there. Be like, all right, cool, we're done. All right, what are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Making $1 billion. Cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
And not to
but
mention,
at what
I mean-
point does that just get too empty? The fact
Fair
that
point.
everything he does is just
I don't know how many times has Bond been able to sneak into M's house. Like you don't think he could have figured it out and like kidnapped her and just torture chamber? What's the movie where it was like the?
but what I'm saying is
Saw.
I'm
It's
I'm
Saw.
thinking of some torture porn-esque type of thing,
yeah.
but
I'm saying, but like, yeah, he could have like cheated his way around it and like got her held captive. But like, at a certain point when you can do whatever you want,
Everything's
like,
too easy.
everything's too
You
easy.
got
Like
cheat codes for
you
everything.
need to like this guy's bored. This guy is like he's like a 5th year college student or so, doing and he's doing like 3rd grade math. He's bored. He wants to go do something.
I think that's fair, and maybe that is a good way to put it. Is that it's not so much like the ambition, the capacity, or the mismatch. It's he needs to do something that he feels like matters and that he's actively participated in, rather than
Yeah.
button click. That's fair.
And M's dead. Okay, good.
I also laughed now that you
Right click, delete, and
And M is yep.
What if James Gandolfini was Raw, and you're just like, all I'm sitting there thinking is just like, this fucking thing doesn't fucking work. Like, just hit like fucking like
Yeah.
button mashing things.
Yeah, him and his those
It's like
fucking
cigar.
sausage fingers he's got.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What? Ah.
All right. Let's see here. Where the fuck is it? Oh, right here. My thing, they didn't out of shape Bond enough. He's on an island drinking and fucking. Unless you're telling me this guy just fucks this much that he just maintained all that muscle tone.
Well, it was only 3 months. And so here's the thing I was thinking, because that is a
The
good
way
point.
he was struggling when he came back, like that dude hasn't been doing anything.
Well, so here's the
Drinking,
other
fucking,
thought.
and you got to think he's sitting there healing. Like, there's no way he was just like, all right, let's go to the bar the first day.
What if he, like, so they had him on the treadmill, and like, what if they were like, all right, run 18 miles instead of like, all right, run a mile.
Right.
Because in my brain I was like, oh, he can't run a mile. Like they're just having him jog and asking him questions and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like what if the actual test is like, run a marathon in front of us now?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, like this is normal for an agent. Or they're like, pull-ups. Do 700 pull-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to like 500 just sitting there talking to Tanner. And we just see like 3 and he's like, we can do this later. Oh, and like falls down. You're like,
You know what?
3?
Let's-
You
yeah.
bitch.
Well, that's the thing. Like watching that, I didn't get the implication that it's like, oh, this is an easy test or whatever. But I did really like seeing Bond collapse, like at the end of it, and very much show like that exacerbation. I'm just like, man, like he's not doing well.
Yeah.
And then
You know,
it was so apparent that like the numbers were fudged for.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
return to service. He's
they
fine.
literally tell you. I mean, literally
Yeah.
tell you. I didn't know Bomb has tests. He did.
He didn't.
I mean, they immediately
Yeah.
tell you. So it's not some secret when Silva's like, huh? You didn't.
Yeah.
My
And
only
it
thing-
shouldn't have even been a surprise to Bond. Like he should have known.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, I didn't do anything.
She must like me.
Yeah.
But like,
Like smother.
all I can think is there's no way he doesn't like lose muscle tone, like all this shit. Because like, first day back on the job, he swims to the top of that building, and he's sitting there, and he's just got the fucking like the arms are just chiseled like crazy, and I'm just like, come on, no.
I mean, we don't see him eat anything. We just see him drink.
That's carbs.
He legit doesn't eat
He's
anything.
just, all he does is just drink sugar all the time. And then
I
he's
don't know if
just
I
fine.
ever remember him eating anything.
The only time I think we've seen him eat, I guess, is Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Now Connery would eat all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'll
Classic
drink
shot.
my breakfast, lunch,
Yeah.
and dinner. I don't know. It was kind of cool because you see Bond, like the Craig era is Bond is a real person, and it's not a superhero, I guess. And so it's kind of cool because you see him through the first 2 movies as like, you take him as like a good agent, fresh agent. And then he gets duped a little, and then the second movie you're like, oh, he's depressed, and it's a transition movie. And this movie is like, he was shot, he was killed, and so you see him like super low, and then his country is attacked, so he comes back.
All
And
I'm
he's
saying is
like,
we deserved Fat James. That's all.
dude,
I'm
there's
saying.
no way they could you imagine filming that? Hey man, we need you to just drink melted ice cream and like gain.
I'm not saying that.
You saying CGI James Bond to get
Just-
a little fatter?
I just like I can't
How
be.
fat do you want James Bond?
I can't be staring at the horseshoes when he gets out of the pool.
Come on, Paul Blart.
One day after he's back,
Oh,
and he
he's
passes
back,
the
baby.
test, and I'm looking at the fucking horseshoe triceps sitting by the pool. I'm sorry, no. He was drinking for 3 months on an island.
Eating nothing, just drinking.
At least give him
But
a
dude,
couple
you get
pounds,
fat from
right?
drinking.
Like, don't,
Nah.
like cut him a little bit, right? Like he's.
And you're older. Metabolism's slowing down.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's
So
there. It is.
again, kind of in this thought, right? Helping timeline out, like how long is an agent supposed to be active if Bond is like pretty much at the cutoff point of like, hey, we should take you out, but like he hasn't
he's
been
special.
a 00 agent for like a super long time.
right.
Like, what is the agent lifespan? Do they keep them on for like 5 years and then hopefully they're dead and they can just
Well, I mean, that's what
Put in
I'm
the new
saying in that
guys.
first movie, right? It's just like, well, the 00, life expectancy is pretty short.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if it's whenever you sign on and cut off at 45, I mean,
I don't know because like
I don't know.
I think he's different, and so it just
Built different.
he's just fucking built.
It's my
different.
least favorite thing I've ever heard in my goddamn
That's why I like to
life.
say it.
He's just different. He, I mean, his dedication and the things he's able to do is just different. But I'm not saying that he won't eventually get put to pasture.
Sure. Let's
We're going nowhere on this question. Let's
Yeah.
move ahead.
fine. Did this movie matter in any way, shape, or form?
As in to the
M
Bond
still died.
universe, right?
Silva still died.
Uh-huh.
There was
We
a
didn't really
transition of power.
save anybody.
True.
Would
In
we have
fact-
gotten the same result? Would we have not had a greater saving of life and the same end result had Bond just stayed in Turkey for like an extra week or two?
No, you're right. It would have been the same thing.
These are my
She
these
would
are
have
like
died.
my favorite
Mallory would have
things
taken over.
is how inconsequential is the plot to the plot.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
No,
we
you're
would
absolutely
have
right.
been able to get through all of this and nothing would have mattered. If anything, Bond may have been like more like, you know, emboldened to take revenge or to like seek out Spectre or something
However,
had he not been participating in this whole movie.
yeah.
But
However, Kincaid wouldn't have got his first boner in I don't know how many
you're
years.
right. You're right. We shot this whole fucking movie just for Kincaid to get his semi guiding them through the catacombs.
He hasn't had an erection since James was 8.
He wasn't even confident the shit still worked.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. If it was all dependent on since James was 8, does that mean he was getting his rocks off on James or?
No, it was Mrs. Bond
Okay.
because they died when he was 8.
Yeah.
And he used to jerk off. He was kind of a cuck to the Bond
That makes
parents.
sense.
Yeah. I made that up. That's not in the Fleming books. Don't look for that.
Thanks,
Remember,
broccoli.
you're gonna have to cite your sources there at the end of this.
I made it up.
It's completely made up.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, it's completely inconsequential. I like in this Bond universe that James and Moneypenny fucked, technically. Because they never do. In the
But it wasn't
wanna
on
believe
screen,
it.
man. They had their sensual.
They fucked.
You think
They had
so?
their sensual
They
beard
fucked.
cutting, but
That and then like the whole Macau,
They fucked.
like the flirty, you know that Think
Amazing
so?
what you can do with an extra set of hands. You're telling me.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, they fucked. Come on.
I'm in the boat that they didn't do it.
Oh, fuck off.
I know.
You know what? I'll take it one step further. I think they fucked in Skyfall. And I think in Spectre,
He's jealous.
when she leaves the house, you know, because they get all up close. I think he fucked her there.
No, he didn't fuck her there.
You know what? I don't care. He fucked her there.
I think he's jealous when he calls her Inspector.
No, for sure. And you know why?
Because
They fucked in Skyfall.
Because he fucked her.
And they just fucked in his apartment a couple nights ago.
No.
It's my story and I'm sticking to it.
There's no way.
They did it.
I think the Bond and
That's why he's in
Moneypenny-
his bathrobe looking at the picture.
The
They fucked.
Bond and Moneypenny relationship works best when it's all about the want and not the action.
Exactly. So
So they
he
ruined
fucked
it
her
in
in
this
Skyfall.
No.
And then
There's no
and then he wants to fuck her again at the end of Skyfall when, you know, they do, I don't think we've ever been properly introduced. I'm Eve Moneypenny. And then, and you see he's already getting that half chub that Sean Connery
one.
always used to get.
Every penny.
No way.
They fucked.
No way.
This plot was inconsequential to the universe, and they fucked. That's all I'm saying.
You're only half right.
It wasn't
So in this Bond
necessary.
universe, him and Moneypenny fucked before she was Moneypenny, so that's fun. Also, he banged 3 different girls in this one. A third more girls than the other 2 Bond movies combined.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. He wasn't really going for it. So we had Severin, right?
Yep.
Was the
Moneypenny.
one gal. Whatever.
What Severin
who was
was
the other gal? Why am I blanking?
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I'm blanking. You made me blank.
Was there just
Shooting
a
blanks
rando?
over
It's so
here.
hot.
Was it just a rando gal?
It's
that
the
he
girl in
hooked
the
up
beginning,
with?
on the island. Yeah. There we go.
So we had rando, Not
Rando,
Moneypenny.
and yeah, what's her face?
Severin.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was hot.
yeah. So
Also, the Komodo dragons was fucking lit. I don't know if you've ever seen Komodo. I've seen a Komodo dragon eat a baby deer before.
really,
Those things are
They're crazy.
just wild creatures.
So that was funny. So this one and Spectre have like tiny little funny bubbles.
sure.
So like the bad guy in Macau that gets bit and eaten by he grabs the gun. He's like, "Good luck with that." It's like tiny little like almost Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque like little like stick around like shit like that where you're like, "Oh come on, man."
So good old Bondisms, man. We had like just a couple of them throughout
going
this
up.
Inspector.
Dude, there's a couple in Spectre that made me laugh so fucking hard.
I didn't write down the Bondisms like the old ones, but
Yeah.
the old movies, but
man.
oh well. I have a big problem with the meeting Silva.
Why?
He gets off the elevator
Mm-hmm.
and he is
Glowing.
Well,
so
no, he's
far,
like 600
he's-
yards down the way.
yeah, he's so far away,
James.
like the biggest like an auditorium away,
Mm-hmm.
and he just starts talking. And Jesus Christ, if I didn't have subtitles on, I have no fucking idea what the hell he's saying.
That's good.
And he just starts talking, and like, whose idea was that? First of all, like, oh, he's gonna be over there, and he's just gonna start talking as if you know he's right next to him, but he's all the way across a room.
So from an audio perspective, I didn't have as much issues with being able to hear him.
I mean, I had the
As he did
subtitles
that.
on. I knew what was going
Yeah.
on.
But like I personally really enjoyed that scene, that it was just like this long extended scene of him like walking up, because I know how carefully planned out the lines of dialogue had to be to the steps he was taking.
Sure.
Like to me, like just those scenes that I know required that much extra effort and cadence to it, I really do enjoy. So I liked that scene quite a bit. And had no issues hearing him.
I just thought it was stupid.
I liked it because it added more to the villain. For the first sighting of the villain.
It's fair, but like, can't they like have James strapped to a fucking dolly, you know, and they're walking with him? You know, I just
they pull him right up to the elevator
Yeah.
and then just drag him as he's walking. These are all of my computers.
well,
He wants to go back where Bond is getting his balls slapped.
yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice
Silva
and
might have
quick.
wanted to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
Give me the
But
popcorn.
I don't know. I just thought it was ridiculous, and I just like the alternate comedic scene would be Bond like, is he? I can't.
He's behind him.
Just like
Is
very
he
clearly
talking?
talking to the henchmen, be like,
Yeah,
I
is-
can't hear
is
a
he
fucking thing
talking
he's
to me?
saying."
Like,
And
it's
they're like, just brushing off, like,
like,
don't. Just,
I can't. What are you saying? What? You know, just. That one was just so bizarre to me. I didn't like it. I like this movie a lot, but I didn't like that scene.
Silva's just a quiet talker, so you literally don't hear anything until he gets.
Oh man, he's a
5 feet
low
away.
talker.
Yeah, he's just so fucking quiet.
Hi, James.
Hello, James.
Now that I'm in your eardrum, I'd like you to know that I've been trying to contact you about your car's extension.
Yeah. We see that your warranty is almost out of date.
And then just the CGI helicopters above that island when they come to get.
Oh, that was
him.
bad.
Those looked terrible.
Scorpion though looked good.
Looked good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that not a real scorpion? It seemed like they had like a little just like figurine or something on his hand.
How
Maybe.
fucking funny would it be if it was a real scorpion though?
Well,
And
that's
they were
the
Daniel-
thing. I wouldn't have
they're like-
expected it to be like a real scorpion, but it seemed like it was like it didn't move most of the time.
Right.
So I was like so certain that they just stuck a thing on his hand.
No, that's practical
Special
effects. I
effects.
would imagine. Yeah.
Daniel was actually stung 9 times, so we had to just put a fake
He started off with his
plastic
left
over it.
hand.
Yeah. You'll notice he doesn't actually raise his left hand because it's so puffy.
It's actually out of the shot completely. I got the dudes guarding Sylvia are pathetic. Because I don't know, I said Sylvia there. That was weird. Silva. You have guns, and this guy just got out of a cell unarmed completely.
Maybe shoot him.
Maybe
Bust the kneecap.
pop a cap in his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Henchman
There's no-
tendencies are just like the most like uninformed, uninspired movements
It's so
ever.
That was
like
odd.
that, and it's 2. He took out 2.
Well, it's the fact that no one else was like, oh, fuck, we have a high priority guy, the only fucking guy down there.
Yeah.
And everything starts opening, and James is the only one like,
Yeah,
starts
and everybody's
running.
like, hey, what's his deal?
Yeah. He's just like, what the fuck's that guy doing?
Oh, the doors are open. Hey, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a little,
and
it's a
then-
little stuffy in here. We need that breeze.
Somehow,
I'm sure that won't matter later.
both of those guys were shot, and Silva's just like running down. You're like,
Oh my god!
Okay.
How do you get the guy? You're in a cage, and that guy's standing over there. How's he stupid enough that Silva gets the gun? It's just incredible. It's incredible.
It's Austin Powers level.
The Nigel Powers, where he's like, you know how many henchmen I've killed? Just put the gun down. Huh?
Just lay down.
Oh shit. Anyway, and then the underwater cardio again. Come on, this guy's he's out of shape,
dude,
and that's all I've got.
I'm about tapped.
Okay.
I did think the on the reservation Skyfall. I don't know what we call it. The
Skyfall
plot,
Ranch.
Skyfall Ranch.
Skyfall Ranch.
Yeah. Skinwalker. The scene was so unnecessary of him falling through the ice and then doing like Muay Thai and killing that dude and then going down to get whatever he got, the gun or whatever.
He got
Yeah.
the flare.
That's what it was. To see where the hole was in the ice. I'm just like,
Sure are lucky that guy's got a flare.
yeah, I'm like, it was so fucking unnecessary. Like,
I gotta tell you, I was struggling for the longest minute to figure out like what even was the purpose. I was like, I was gonna shoot the flare up so like Kincaid and M know that they
I'm
should
still alive.
turn around
Yeah.
and like watch out for Silver or something. It's like,
The
why?
fucking flashlight.
I was like,
Kincaid.
like, what are we doing, bro?
that did piss me
Swim
off.
up.
But
You'll
Silva
figure it
just,
out.
Like, pissed off, looked around when the house was on fire because he's like, my plans have gone. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And he looks and he just sees the flashlight going to the church. He's like, there, I'm gonna kill them there.
Nice.
Yeah.
God damn it! The fire is not projecting enough light. You need a fucking flashlight to walk through a field.
Kincaid, you've been here for 40 years alone.
No, know your fucking way around.
Yeah.
Don't know how to get up to the chapel, Kincaid. You fat
Kincaid.
fucking loser.
You piece of fucking shit.
Oh, let's get the flashlight out. Maybe she'll fuck me later.
Emma.
We can seal that wound up.
Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Yeah.
The way you tie those zip ties around that broken light bulb.
I liked the MacGyver aspect of this. You know, of that whole last scene.
The
them,
prepping?
them setting up the light
Yeah.
bombs and all that. I think
It
that was
made
cool.
me try to think a little
The
bit
little
about,
boards with the shells
Yeah,
underneath. That was
like,
sweet.
you know, Bond obviously, like it makes sense that he knows how to, do a little bit of,
Kill
of
people.
hoodwinking to get shit together like that. But I guess thinking from like M's perspective, thinking about like her potential history, and why, she knows how to do some of these things and how she has the thought ahead. But, I've always been a terrible shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
like
it's like,
How did you get where you are
Yeah.
and you cannot shoot a gun?
maybe she didn't do
Corporate
field
liar.
work, man.
She's been on a computer
Diversity.
all her life. She's been on a
Diversity.
computer all.
We need a woman. To
Mallory hasn't done any field work either.
lead. I don't know.
That's what they literally hinted that, where he's like,
I thought he was in
you
the
haven't
army,
done much
though.
field work, have you?
But wasn't he in the army or some shit?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's like it's like Congress.
He did paperwork in the army.
Yeah. Or if someone's like, oh, he was in the reserves,
I
It's
mean,
like, he
even
never
if-
saw action.
Even if
maybe,
he was in
but-
the army, there's no like necessity that Emma had to have done service. You know what I mean?
She was a secretary.
Anyway,
That's all I got.
all right. How are we grading this? What happened? How was the plot? Complicated for no reason. Splitting off the last second for no reason. Was the plot original, or was it a tired cocktail of a few other Bond movie plots worth up to 3 points?
It was original-esque. How many points is that one?
It's worth up to 3.
Up to 3. I mean, I liked it a lot. I think you're right. If he would just,
Inconsequential a
Yeah.
little bit, but
That's not part of it, though. It was
yeah.
original. I don't think it was very complicated.
I'll do 2.5.
Not as much as some of them.
yeah.
It was not a tired cocktail of a few other Bond movie plots. I'll say that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I'd go 2 flat, I think.
All right. I vote 2. We'll go with 2.
2.
All right. Who did it happen to? Was the villain a good villain?
Yes.
Was his motivation legitimate or was it kind of silly?
Yes.
Revenge plots are fine.
Yeah.
Revenge plots are justified, I think.
And he was, and at least to me, he was very interested enough that
Yes.
it all settled. So
And I dig the I like when a villain has a deformity and he takes the tooth out and he's got the
That
fucked
was
up
pretty cool.
face.
Yeah.
I dig that. That's a cool villain
This is
thing.
what you did to me. Look at me, mother.
Bond girls, were they predominantly for Bond's enjoyment or did they add to the story?
does M count as a Bond girl? Because otherwise,
She does this one.
yeah.
And,
Dude, she's
Moneypenny, of course.
But Moneypenny wasn't again because I felt that
They
he didn't
definitely
fuck
fucked.
her. So
Look, Jason, like many things, I just have to break your heart here. They fucked.
that's fine.
He
Maybe.
fucked her raw.
yeah.
Asterisk.
Unless she ends up pregnant one of these.
Do you
there's
think
no way to
Bond
know
wears a
for sure.
condoms? Wears a condoms. Do you think Bond wears a condom?
Bond never wears condoms.
Do you think he's fixed because he's a double O?
Fixed. Like a dog.
No. And I
No?
think you know why.
Yep, take
Yeah,
that
that's
back.
a couple movies from now, so
Asterisk that.
we'll leave
I
that
take
out.
back. Fuck.
Okay, so I think Bond girls were fine for the story. I mean, obviously the first girl was for his enjoyment.
Yeah, very disposable.
Moneypenny's not disposable. And
Yet.
Severine, what was Severine?
Severin.
Severin.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Um,
She was this.
But she added to it.
She was
I mean,
hot.
she needed to be there. She was the connection to get to Silva.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, plot relevant.
was Bond good at his job, or did he luck into it? Do you care?
He didn't really have a job this time. It was kind of bodyguard.
Well, that's still a job, man. I mean,
He did his
he did a
job.
bad job at his job, not coming back immediately.
Yep.
But then once he was back,
Once he was there,
I
and it's
think
not
he
his fault.
served his role, right?
It's not his fault. Silva's 2 steps ahead. I mean, he's been playing on this for 15 years.
Yeah, Bond just works here.
Bond
You know what?
Bond
Yeah, I
Bond
like
showed
it.
up for a game he didn't know had been going on for 15 years. So
Yeah,
I think that one deserves the full 3.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. How did it happen? Action sequences, were they meaningful? Did they help move the plot along? If not, were they at least cool? If there were chases, were they relevant? Did they drag on too long? How were the effects? Bad CGI? Did you notice anything wrong? Was it an older movie with a cool stunt worth up to 1.5 points?
Well, I'm immediately taking a half point off.
I'm gonna say yes and no for all of those. So I'm gonna say 0.75 because some of the CGI good, some of the CGI bad. Scorpion, helicopters.
0.75 sticks with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Spy stuff, spy codes are just being slick gadgets, not necessarily integral to the score, but if they were given to Bond, were they utilized later with up to 1.5 points?
We didn't talk to the fact that he had a fucking pager in his pocket and Silva never checked him or whatever, and it was just like, hey, that's a fucking
Radio.
yeah, it's a
Latest
radio.
thing from Q Branch.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Well, again,
it's
I think
huge.
it was part of Silva's plan to be captured because he needed to get into London for the rest of his plan to start working. So,
Good.
like,
It's such a slap in the face for Q to be like a pistol and a radio, and then they're like,
what were you
radio?
expecting? An exploding pen?
Yeah.
And that, dude, that was my other thing. We're calling back to GoldenEye.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. We're doing these like tip of the cap to the old Bond movies. We're calling back to GoldenEye.
Yeah,
Oh come on, man, it was a good one.
it was fun.
It was fine.
Talk about one that didn't utilize fucking Q Branch stuff.
I gotta
That
tell
one.
you, just the overall sense of not using gadgets has really dampened me. Just because I enjoyed the rundown so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, just the
Yeah.
scene where he's like, "Here's your gun, here's your radio," and then what were you expecting? Exploded pen? I was like, "Yes, I was.
Please.
Please give this man an exploding pen."
For the love of fucking God.
Right?
So we were
Like you
saying another 0.75 there. It's obviously not
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
full.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then bonus points would be awarded for opening sequence. Obviously, good if the song was a banger, but aside from that, was the opening sequence a good intro to what was going to happen in the movie? Did it fit with the theme, or did it have nothing to do with the movie, or was it pleasing to the eye and you just dug it? Worth up to 0.5 point.
I dug it. It was pleasing to the eye. Song was good. The only thing that I like meshed everything was like Scotland, I think green, and the whole thing was fucking green.
Yeah.
much.
Well, so they did a couple of things actually throughout the theme that was really interesting. So when they did Dame Judi Dench's credit in the intro theme, it was over a tombstone.
Oh.
So there's some
There you
foreshadowing
go.
that she was going to die. And then as well as we actually saw the Skyfall Lodge like throughout the intro credits and stuff too, which was really interesting. 100% song slaps. Adele did a fantastic job on it. I love this song. And visually, I did really think that they did a good job with kind of portraying some of the elements of it, and that it was just cool to see. And again, seeing this type of thing where it's like you have an opening theme with a song, and then it's attached to a movie with like an ungodly budget, so awesome.
The song made it feel like a classic Bond movie.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the way they do a lot of these songs is that it isn't very like electronic, or it's not very like overproduced or something. We're not dancing into the fire or anything.
Unfortunately,
man, what a bop. But a lot of them I think are presented in a way where they can be these timeless songs. So
Yeah.
it fits well.
Oh,
So
all
yeah,
right.
full points on that one for sure for me.
Full half point. Bondisms, the good old Bond puns, are just him saying something witty about the situation. Or if you hate these, subtract a half point.
Yeah, there were a couple throughout there, so I don't know if we'd really give the
I don't
point,
know
but
that
I
it
wouldn't
deserves
take
an
away.
award.
Yeah.
All right, so
No award, no takey.
5.75 plus another 0.75. 6 is 2. 6.5 plus another half is a 7. We land on a 7 for good old Skyfall. And something I didn't realize we weren't doing. I kind of forgot. It had been so long when we started into Casino Royale. We haven't been doing the budget versus box office.
Oh God, budget on this had to have been up there, man.
Yeah. What would you guess?
Tease me. What was?
Oh yeah, let's go through the
Quantum
other
Solace
ones we
and,
didn't do. Casino
Casino
Royale was 150 budget and 616.5 million box office. Quantum of Solace 220 on the budget and 589.6 on the box office.
Deserved.
And Skyfall. This is where the last 3 Bond movies get stupid, and I did look these up a long time ago, so maybe there's a clearer number. But it says 200 to 245 million. So, for whatever reason, there's not a sure figure on that.
Yeah.
But go ahead and guess the box office.
I don't know, because I remember when we did like our movies that got their billions, and I'm pretty sure Skyfall is one of the Bonds that ended up getting $1 billion, if barely.
This is the largest, the biggest,
highest
grossing Bond film ever.
Oh, ever?
This film specifically is the highest grossing Bond film.
1.1 billion.
Are we? Well, no, we're doing box office. Well,
We're guessing the box office, yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, which is the highest
Yeah.
growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember if it was like barely squeaking by or if it was up there. I'd have to say like 1.1. Yeah.
It's 1.109. So
Okay.
yeah, you
Hey.
basically
So
both got
barely
it.
over
Yeah.
there. Okay.
That's insane.
Yeah. So yeah.
Only Bond that got its billion though.
Yes. Yeah, that goes down the next 2, yeah. So, and now I think with the last one, COVID has to do with it, quite
Yeah.
honestly, but it still does really well. So, I know I went and saw it. So,
I did too.
that would be it for Skyfall. Thank you for listening or watching or whatever the hell you did tonight. Check out our bond grading episode. That's where we got all those criteria that we just used. And check us out on the social medias and all that. So, thanks and goodbye.